Google just launched a brand new AI feature inside of Gemini called Take Notes for Me, which you can bring into your Google Meet, which automatically transcribes and summarizes your meetings, again, in Google Meet. Now, as you all know, we at Surface, we are proud fellow ambassadors. And so with Fellow being an AI meeting assistant that me and my team use every single day and have used for the last year, I figured when this new feature came out on Google Meet, I wanted to test it out. And what I really want to do for today is keep it real. We have Gemini. Everyone got the preview. If you have a Google workspace, you would have gotten the previews. You would have been prompted inside of Google Meet or inside of your Gmail or inside of Drive to try out the new features. And so what I want to do today is really do a shootout to see what the comparisons are between Google's Gemini Take Notes for Me and what Fellow can do. And so if you've been following for a long time, you kind of know what Fellow can do already, but today I'm just going to take a look and just give you my opinion on it. But if you're watching this and you get some value out of it and you think Fellow could work for you and your team, there's a link in my description. You can get 10% off your first year of Fellow when you sign up for one of their paid plans. But if you have no idea who I am, my name is Marquis. I'm the CEO at Surface. We are proud Asana partners, Fellow ambassadors, as well as asanasolutions partners. And I make videos like this every single week to help you and your team get the most out of your tech investments. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is really just an overview of both of the tools. I want to take a look first at the transcription and the summary and how they both compare. I'm going to take a look at Gemini first, and then we're going to look at Fellow. So here on my screen, I have up just a Google Meet. If we clicked on this button here, it says take AI notes. Fellow will be invited into my Google meeting. But as you can see here, now Gemini can take notes for you. After the meeting, Gemini adds a summary and details to the meeting notes documents. Currently, Gemini only takes notes in English. Okay, so you can learn more about that if you want to. So got it. I'm going to come in here. So I want it to transcribe my meeting. It says a new document will be created in the drive of marquisamurray. Okay. That's the first kind of thing. It would be in my drive for marquisamurray, not like a shared drive where if it's a customer call or a sales call, I'd want my entire team to have access to it. So already I'm kind of like, unsure about that. The document will be shared with the meeting host and the person who turned on notes. Okay, so I turned it on, and then the host will get the meeting. In Fellow, you can choose if you want the recap to go to everyone who attended. That includes your guests or your team members, but let's just see. So I also want to record this meeting. Let's start taking notes. Now, yesterday I did have a call where I had them both running just so I could like show you them today. You're obviously not going to see it in this demo, but let's just see the transcription. So Fellow is joining. I'm going to have to let Fellow in. All right, so Copilot's here with me. I've got that running. So now like both tools are transcribing, they're listening. And so I did have the closed on the other day, and no Gemini, sorry, only gives you notes in English. I will show you something that was really cool. So we've got a few Spanish team members at Surface, and so sometimes we do engagements in Spanish. And so we were on a sales call the other day, and I was prompted to transcribe in the language that was comfortable for me. And so the meeting was in Spanish, and then with my live captions, I was able to turn them on and I was able to translate them. So right now I'm translating into English. So if I wanted to, I could change the language that I want to read it in. And so for me, being a native English speaker, not knowing a lick of Spanish, I was able to read along as the prospect was sharing with my Spanish team members, and I was fully up to speed, right in line. So I will say that for Gemini, like the AI is coming a long way. It's a really cool step in the right direction. So I really did like that about it. And then I was able to jump in English, talk to my team members, and they could translate back for the guest as well. So I do like that about it. And so what that looks like is down here, you'll see the text come up. It's not perfect, but it gives you kind of the gist of what you're looking at. Okay, so that's what it looks like to get started. With Fellow here, like I'm able to go in, I can pause the video, I can take my notes. So notes here. With my action items, like these all sync to Asana. So sync to Asana, just like that. So it goes into the space that I've designated already. I have my talking points here, right? So this is my agenda essentially. And then you can have people assigned to them, you can have reactions. And so it works really well when you're in a collaborative space. And then with Copilot, I can also ask it questions during the meeting, which is really cool. So if I miss something that a prospect said, I can go back and say, hey, what did so and so just say? It'll give me that information in real time. Google has not been able to do that just yet. Let's switch over to my actual meeting agenda here. So here's that I had yesterday, what I'm going to reference for you. So what I love about this is, again, with auto recording, Fellow automatically comes on. Yes, you can auto record with Meet as well, but this starts by giving you the information right here. So you've got your notes right here for Fellow, and you've got your recording right here for Fellow as well. Now, there was a time where if you've recorded on Google Meet, you could have that little file there and it was available to the people who join the meeting, but there's different permissions now that have been set around it. Okay, so those are my first impressions on transcription and summaries. So let's actually go and take a look at what those summaries look like. All right, so I'm going to go into my email because this is the email that I got from Gemini yesterday after this call. So here we have, open meeting notes. So I've got 3 documents here, and then I've got the video recording. So I've got my notes in Gemini. These are the notes that I would have taken inside of Google Meet. I have the transcript, and then I have the chat transcript as well. So any links that were shared or anything that happened in the chat, then we've got our recording. So let's open up notes for Gemini. So you've got a summary. During this meeting, blank, discuss challenges standardizing Asana usage across 100 teams and implementing OKRs, citing employee resistance to existing training materials. Marquis of Surface presented solutions, including Asana certification, training videos, and the internal OKR Asana setup as a model, demonstrating portfolio and nested portfolio utilization for streamlined OKR tracking. Blank will explore the provider resources. So yeah, that's pretty accurate. That's what happened in the call. We talked about that. Got some details here. I guess these are the chapters or key takeaways. So, meeting introduction, so and so's Asana challenges, Surface's solution, OKR implementation strategy, Asana portfolio, nested portfolios, and then meeting conclusion. So, yeah, that's basically what happened in the call. Gives me a summary, and then I have my other links right here. So let's go back to the email. I'll take a look at transcript and see what this shows me now. So, okay, great. Another document for the transcript. And again, this is also saved in my Google Drive, which I've never liked about Google Meet. It's one of the reasons why I like Fellow because you have shared libraries. You can separate them by channel and team. I've never liked that the meeting recordings go to my personal drive, then I have to spend my time moving them to a public space. So I don't know why Google still does that, but okay, got my transcript there. And then let's see the chat transcript as well. Okay, then we've got the chat transcript. I shared a couple of links there. We didn't have much of a chat. So okay, we've got 3 documents plus a video. We all know what the video recordings look like. I'll pop it up. It's independent to the rest of the document. And then I can speed up, which I often will do. But then what I obviously don't have here is my transcript in line with the video. I have to go back to the transcript. I have to go back to the chat. And so having the pieces fragmented like this has never worked for me. Before I knew about Fellow, I never liked this. So this is my real honest opinion here. I don't know why they are this way. So those are my thoughts. And now let's go to Fellow. So if you've seen any of my videos before, this is that same call from yesterday. This is what Fellow picked up from it. So I don't believe I took any notes because I was doing a demonstration, but here I have my agenda for the call. And so for my sales calls, this is the agenda that I choose. This is the same agenda that I would have had in my calendar. So I would have seen like this here. And what I really like about this is like anyone coming to the meeting can see this right away. And as soon as the meeting's done, I get this summary and I can view it from my calendar or I can view it from the fellow dashboard here. So let's go back to the recap. I've got my summary. Let's see how this compares to the other summary. So this meeting focused on the implementation of Asana and OKRs, objectives and key results, within the organization. The team discussed challenges in Asana adoption, including inconsistent usage across departments and the need for a comprehensive training tool. A demonstration of Asana's features for OKR implementation was provided, showcasing how to set up company goals, link projects, use portfolios for tracking. The meeting also covered the use of Asana's strategy map and the portfolio features for goal visualization and management. Participants explored best practices for setting up OKRs in Asana, including making those public for transparency and using smart criteria for key results. So if I'm a person receiving this summary and I'm looking at this summary here, yeah, this was accurate, but it's super high level. This is not getting me up to speed. This is not filling me in. And again, I've never liked what Google does, so I'm not like throwing any shade here, but this is why I really enjoy Fellows, because like this gives me so much context. This is exactly what happened. Like it's very detailed, even though it's a summary. So right, I'm gonna like that because that's exactly what happened. That's what I want to see. What I also love about Fellow is you have your action items here. So review YouTube channel on Asana Basics, shared by Marquis Murray. So I said, hey, you should look at my YouTube channel because I have lots of videos on OKRs and how to set them up. And what I was demonstrating, I'd actually recorded beforehand. So I shared that link with them. And then I said, try out the portfolio feature, watch more videos. So I said, I have videos on portfolios. Here, you can watch some of those. And so those are action items that I could have set. But as many of you know, right inside of Fellow, like as the meeting's going on, I can add in more action items, right? And these go directly to Asana. Whereas if I was in this right here, like what are my action items? What were the next steps, right? We don't really have those, and there's no way to interact with it either. So let's go back here. I've got my decisions that were made. Yep. Here are the different chapters. And then I can jump to those timestamps as well. So I have this video that I can watch in real time, click on my timestamps. I have these different chapters here, all summarized. And for me, like my memory is terrible. It is terrible. I can't remember a thing. I need to have this document. I need to have this tool so many times because of the sheer volume of calls that I get. Or that I'm on daily, I can often like forget people's faces or solutions or like what we talked about. And so I'm able to go back to Fellow, read the summary really quickly, look through the chapters, go into the key points. Oh, yes, that's right. That's right. Skip through the video. It's all right here, right? And then I can go back. I've got my notes here. I've got the transcript here as well, timestamps and little avatars there. I've got the stats. Again, I was doing a presentation, so I'm talking 22 minutes, 75% of the call. And also, you can go in and redact certain information so you can interact with this. So if something was said that was maybe private and you don't want that to be shared out with your recipients, you can remove that, redact that from the meeting, right? Confirm it, right? And then redact that content. And so the flexibility of it and able to like make these kind of changes on the fly versus what Gemini's offering, I think the answer is clear there on what my preference would be. So now we're going to talk about integrations. So Fellow integrates with Asana, your Monday, your ClickUp, your HubSpot, Salesforce. Like there's so many different integrations where Gemini is obviously very limited. Like, but yes, you could connect Gemini and the various sheets to a Zap inside a Zapier or Unito and say, hey, when this happens, do this. You could do that. But again, that's going an extra step. Whereas, Fellow, I'm not going to show you now, but you can go into the settings here and you can connect it to your various tools. And like, I know that after a call happens, right, this is going to be updated to my CRM automatically, right? I'm going to get a little button over here. And then in the recap, I'm going to let's actually go to that. So I'm going to go to my meetings from yesterday. There we go. I still have the same information. You can see that it's synced to that contact inside of HubSpot. I can send my notes to HubSpot, but I know that because there were notes taken, it's automatically synced over to HubSpot where we keep all of our customer information as well. So again, another step I don't have to take. I don't have to download notes and download a PDF and put it somewhere and summarize it and copy and paste. It's just right there for me. Next, we'll look at language and accessibility. So Fellow has a multilingual support, right? We saw that with the note taker in Gemini, it restricts it to English. And so let me just go and see if I can find that call from the other day that we had in Spanish. Here it is right here. So again, I don't speak a lick of Spanish, with the entire meeting was in Spanish. And here we have an entire summary in Spanish, action items in Spanish, decisions in Spanish, all of this in Spanish. Like, but can I take this and let's just go and do it. Let's go and go to Copilot and we'll say, hey, please translate this into English. And what's nice about this is, I mean, like the prospect in the country that they're from, I won't name it, but they were able to get this recap in their native language. And so here I have my perfect summary inside of Fellow with perfect English so that I can understand, right? So it keeps everyone on the same page. They really have thought about how to keep this well-rounded. And I'm sure, yes, Google will eventually come out with this, but for the time being, if you're thinking about which tool's right for you, I feel like Fellow's already got it all connected there. So now let's talk about security and privacy. And so with Fellow, they are SOC 2, Type 2 compliant, GDPR ready, HIPAA compliant, right? And with Gemini, there's a general privacy feature. Yes, they would have a lot of those things behind the scenes, but you really have to dig into their terms and conditions to find them as well. So if you're thinking, is Fellow secure? Is it going to manage my data in the same way that a Google would? The answer is yes, right? You're getting all the same restrictions, privacy, permissions. I actually have another video that I worked on where I speak specifically to the security and privacy and permission settings inside of Fellow. And so you're going to want to check that out. But for me, like the ease of use of both tools, I've shown you kind of the back and forth as to like what these look like. And so for me, it's just like, what's the easiest way to do something? At Surface, we believe in improving something and leaving things better than how we found them. And so why would I go through all the trouble to um, jump through all these hoops that Google is asking us to? Let's take a look at pricing right now. We are on the Google Workspace standard. So at this point in time, these Gemini features are only available to certain workspace plans. I thought even up until this morning, when I sat down to record, that this would continue to be a paid feature. And they were telling us initially that there would be another like $18 you'd have to pay per user per month to get Gemini. I see this notice that Gemini is coming soon to all workspace editions. You'll get AI without purchasing an add-on. Current add-on customers will easily transition. So that's kind of cool, right? Because I have liked Gemini in my Google Drive. I've liked it to summarize my folders. I've liked it in my email as well. There's a lot of context that it pulls from my documents, my emails, and how I speak. And so I'm sure it's just a matter of time before this is included. There may be incremental price hikes, who knows? But at this point in time, you would need to be on the Google Workspace Business or pay for that add-on at $18 per user to add this into your space as well. Fellows pricing is also very flexible. If you're an individual, you have a free and a solo plan, which gets you all of those same features, a lot of the same features, I should say, that I just mentioned. When you go to business and team, that's when you're getting access to channels and teams and shared libraries. But there is also a free plan. If you have a smaller team, you're under 3 people, you can start with this plan here. And then it goes up as your needs expand as well. So there's lots to consider in this, obviously. My verdict is, I think it's pretty obvious, but I want you to make the decision for you. If you're a Google shop and you love what Google has and you're already using Gemini integrated, by all means. I want you to make that decision. But again, I wanted to make this as real as possible so you can see how I use this every single day and why I think Fellow is leading the way when it comes to AI meeting note takers. But if you have a different opinion, leave it in the comments. Maybe you already have. I'd love to have a discussion on it, and we can just talk about the different ways that we use these tools in our day-to-day. But as always, I'll thank you for watching. Again, if you want to try Fellow for yourself, you can click the link in my description to get 10% off your first year of Fellow. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.